Jack, let's talk a bit of Tottenham and a bit of Antonio Conte. So Tottenham this season's been a weird bunch where seem to always start off losing and then rarely coming back after being 2 goals down, sometimes even 3 goals down. It's just this weird thing that we've seen this year. They're able to do against Bowman, Brentford after being 2-0 down, come back, get an equaliser and could have won the game. And they started the same trend against Aston Villa, but it didn't work this. They went down 2-0 to Aston Villa. But me watching Antonio Conte's press conference and just seeing the whole talk about Tottenham, what is your feeling about Antonio Conte in Tottenham? Because Jack, I have a straight opinion of it. I have a straight opinion of it that people might not agree with. But Jack, I just want to get to you right now. What's your opinion on Antonio Conte and his Tottenham team right now?
So to me, Antonio Conte has been left in the 2010s with his tactical and stylistic approach. That's my personal thought. 2010s is even generous. Maybe the noughties, seriously, of the 21st century, maybe. James, the possession statistic looks good. Passes completed, boy, it looks good. Chances conceded, oh, looks good. All this kind of stuff. But again, James, what's the end product? What's the eye test, right? Again, statistics and data and all this stuff is all very, very good, but the eye test is the true test of what's going on. I watched the Spurs Villa game today. It's a team that just thinks that if they do these categories, which are kind of ancient, categories in the world of modern football, that they think they're just, going to be gifted the victory. And again, it also strikes me as well that when they don't succeed or when they don't do well, Conte is going to point at the fact that, oh, I'm very ambitious, I'm very demanding. We need 15 great players, and then we need to spend 80. I think his post-match interview, we need to spend 80 million on 80 million times two on two different. It's not like, yeah, like. We've seen plenty of examples where that's not the case, where people have changed and people have done things differently. James, to me, it's a man who has a crutch now. It's a man who's settled, James. I hate to say that, and I never thought I'd say that about Antonio Conte or any of his teams, but it's a man who's settled and who has his excuses and is happy with his excuses. And it's disappointing. It's disappointing because every single time he, and again, James, that Inter Milan team, as much as it cut me up, I thought, this is so cool. This is so cool. Look at this team. Look at what they're doing. Look at all this. He now feels a little bit more entitled into going into these positions, like the players aren't good enough to play. James, there's some really, really good players in that football team. And again, I think he will point back to, like I said at the beginning, possession, chances created, blah, 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 blah. James, we know what modern football is, really. The game is won in transition. The game is not won in your defensive third or in your attacking third. The game is largely won in transition at the moment. And we're looking at a team, Arsenal. James, we saw the game, I'm sure you did, this past weekend. How many goals are scored from a counter press or from transition from that Arsenal team who are top of the league and just storming ahead, right? Man City, what are we seeing from them? Like, all teams that are doing it well are doing that. Antonio Conte doesn't have that tool. He has defending, he has attacking, and all the stats point in his favour. But James, what's the end product? An uninspired football team that's kind of seems to be full of excuses at the moment. And I hate to say that about Conte because I think he's such a great manager, but he seems to have lost his way a bit.
Jack, I agree with absolutely everything you said. It feels so entitled from Antonio Conte, a guy that, as you mentioned, you so much respect for, and I have so much respect for. But if you're a Tottenham fan, if you can listen to his press conference and go, "You're right. I think there's something wrong with you," that is absolute. It to me, it's delusional. And the one thing I get angry about with football managers is that a lot of football managers aren't willing to improve football players. You are paid loads of money, yeah, to come in and do a job. Yes, you might not get all your players in, but what you have, can't you not do something with? This isn't a bad Tottenham team. And I listen to a lot of people, listen to a lot of Tottenham fans. Oh, he's bad. Romero. It's like they just want to point at one player. I'm sorry, but what I see with Tottenham is the exact same thing I've seen under Jose Mourinho. Antonio Conte, for all the glitz and glamour he was at Chelsea, and all the glitz and glamour he was into Milan. I'm sorry, but what is this, Jack? I'm seeing
Also,
the thing I
not
see.
just very very quickly, because I know I like to interrupt you and cut you off, so I'm really sorry. I'm just going to say this real quick. James Conte, you mentioned the other name there, Jose Mourinho. What have we really seen from Jose Mourinho that's too dissimilar from Antonio Conte at the moment? And again, I'm a Roma fan. Like, trust me, Jose Mourinho is my guy. But again, I'm not seeing anything from Jose Mourinho that's oh, we're modern, we're 2023 football team. You know, Conte and Mourinho, it's two of the same guys in the same era. They don't seem to have developed really.
Jack, there's a way to play football, and everybody has their own system. I'm a fan of you having your own system in like your own way of football. But I look at Tottenham, it's like there's a clear blueprint on how to beat Tottenham.
Right.
Tottenham cannot do. It happened under Jose Mourinho too. If you set up two banks of four and ask Tottenham, come break us down, they have no answer for you. They have absolutely no answer for you. If Harry Kane and Son can't combine, we're not seeing anything from them. I'm sorry, I get it. Kulusevski wasn't playing, and to me, that's a huge miss because every time
And he's an X factor.
like
He's amazing.
he's a
Yep.
massive X factor
Yep.
on it. But it's almost like if Kane and Son ain't doing anything, this hasn't been Son's great year. We're doing it's a bust. What? And I'm like seriously, what is this? Like,
And James, what I think is frustrating is you have the pieces there to be able to do it. Again, you've heard me wax poetically, wax lyrical about Bentancur. Bentancur is a quarterback playing football. Bentancur can play these passes of unbelievable difficulty. His success rate isn't always going to be 100%, but he can play passes where you go, gee, there aren't many people in the world who can play that. But again, he didn't play today, but he's withheld into the way Conte wants him to do it, and and again, Kane and Son, like you said, the complaints aren't justified. You got Harry Kane, you got Heung-min Son, you got like the pieces are there. Like, I don't want to hear it.
seriously, but in Jack, I totally lost my train of thought. I got
Sorry.
right now. Do you know what irks me about football at times is that when you need one or two goals to react, I don't think that you're a good team. Because Jack, any team, yeah, who are 2-0 down, score a goal, and then they pile on the and then they pile on the pressure, they get the equalizer. That's cool. Of course you're gonna do that.
Yeah,
No, we're
right,
meant to pile on the pressure because it's almost like this weird gravity effect in football. Once a goal goes in, the opposition who are ahead automatically sinks while like the opposition who scored,
right.
they gain a bit of momentum. And if you're a team who are just based on momentum in games where we may get a goal out of nothing like that, and like then we're rolling, that won't cut it. That won't cut it in a 38 game league season. You can't just base your game off momentum. You have to have a style and like an identity of how to win football games. Yeah, Jack, I've seen Antonio Conte come into a Chelsea team after them finishing, I don't know, fifth the season before, and able to rally his teams after signing one or two players. Not Jack, he didn't make massive changes. He signed one or two players. And Jack, they were arguably one of the greatest Premier League runs
Yep.
we've ever seen to win a title. He didn't
Right.
make that many players. Inter Milan, yes, he needed a little bit to get over the line, but this whole
Right.
thing right now where he's making, I need this, I need that, I need this, and I need that. It's just a load of excuses.
Also, from a standpoint of investment, James, like, Man United are coming. Like, Man United are coming. They're going to have new owners. Liverpool are going to have new owners soon. They're going to be coming back. They've not been gone for long. Liverpool are going to be coming. Newcastle are a problem. Arsenal, again, I'm not trying to be disrespectful. Arsenal, to a certain extent, out of nowhere, are a major problem. Man City aren't going anywhere. I don't know what you think is going to happen in the Spurs boardroom, the Spurs ownership, that's going to make them go, yeah, let's compete with these like 5 or 6 other teams that are going to spend hundreds of millions. Like, no, Antonio, you're in the wrong job. And again, James, his lack of longevity, anybody, go on Wikipedia, go look at Antonio Conte's little career list that he's got there. His lack of longevity speaks to the fact that he goes in, he does the same old routine, the same old shtick, and then when it wears off, he leaves. That's
And
what happens. My prediction pre-season, one of my predictions was Conte wouldn't be at Spurs at this point. And again, here we are. We've only got a few months left, and I
I,
still don't think Conte will last the season.
I feel like because it's Spurs, they can like let a manager kind of get away with it.
Right.
Just blame the board. But Jack, Chelsea fans know what happened with like Antonio Conte. They don't. They're not going to come in and tell you, oh, Antonio Conte is a complete saint. He is,
No.
but I just look at this entitlement in like where he is, like like right now as a manager. I'm thinking like, what do you want to do? What do you want to be? Because Jack, you can clearly see right now that Tottenham isn't in his mindset. He knows that okay, I can have an excuse to leave and no one's gonna complain. Cool. You know, and Tottenham, and think about it, Tottenham fans are gonna back me all the way. Why? Because they never had success.
They can't believe their luck, right?
Exactly.
But I'll also say this. Again, I'm not trying to put him in the same conversation, but you have these two guys who are set in stone in their position, in their legacy, whatever. They're going to be respected till the end of their careers in Klopp and in Pep. Of course they are. But the guys who are still kind of like, and again, Conte's got his medals. Like Conte's good. But in terms of the level he's at and the level of team that he's at now, you've got contemporaries in Mikel Arteta. You've got contemporaries in Eric Ten Hag, and you see this freshness, you see these ideas, you see this complexity of approach and all this stuff. Conte looks like a broken record, looks like kind of an old man there,
But
which is crazy.
Jack, you remember at the start of the season, you spoke to a lot of Tottenham fans. They were so gassed about the winner they had. Oh, we got a striker like Richarlison to replace Kane. We got Basuma in there. Romero was signed the year before.
Longley, right, in a back
On
three. Clement Longley, great. Why not? Right,
Longley, Perisic,
right.
we're gonna listen. We're gonna compete this and that. And now he's not good enough. He's there. He's there. Let's all blame Sergio Romero. I don't really blame. I don't listen. I don't really play them games. I just to me, I feel like
Cutia Romero, by the way, who just won a World Cup. But yeah, sure, let's blame him. Like, yeah, fine.
but as I said right now, maybe Tottenham fans will think we're picking on Tottenham a little bit. We're picking on Conte, but I look at this from this point of view. I hate the mistakes, Jack, and I forgot to mention. Maybe we should mention this right now. Poch. Does he come in? Tottenham
Look,
fan.
yeah, I was going to say leave it to the comment section. I'm not going to make any comment on that just yet because you better do the dance with the devil you know than the devil you don't. But saying that, James, they know that devil. They know that other devil, don't they? So
I'm just like to me, Poch one was, when something was so good the first time, just leave it there.
Right.
Don't want to run it like it was good. First of all, it was good for Tottenham. Not winning anything in is good. Listen, I don't know where you man. Listen, they talk about Poch's time there like he won a treble with them. I guess. Listen,
James is being rude, everybody. James is being rude.
Listen, it's ridiculous, but I wouldn't bring him back too because I don't think that he brings any more value to Tottenham. Jack, generally after this Antonio Conte experiment, where did they kind of go from here?
Well, again, I know we don't have a lot of time left here, but we're stuck in limbo again, aren't we? I think that this was the final bullet in the chamber, right? You got Fabio Paratici, you got Antonio Conte. He's brought in Perisic. He's done this. He's done this was the final shot in the pistol, and again from here. Man, I'll be honest with you. I'd like to consider myself quite a well thought out, progressive football decision maker and thinker. I'd like to be able to do a job as a technical director or director of football. To a certain extent, I'm fresh out of ideas to do what to do with this Spurs team.
Bring back Poch. That's.
Where's Harry Redknapp? Get Harry Redknapp down.
I'll mention first of all. I keep on going blank during this video, but Harry Kane, Jack, like. Seriously, he must look at himself right now. I think he's turning 30 or like 31.
James, hindsight is 2020. You ask Harry Kane now, he would rip your arm off to go to Man United, Man City, Chelsea. Well, maybe not Chelsea, but one of the Manchester clubs. I think he would rip your arm off. I really
Arsenal?
do. But again, Arsenal, wink. Yeah, that's right.
But even him, Jack, he ain't getting any younger. He might. I thought that's in.
Hey, good luck replacing him too. Richarlison won't be there for a very long time, so yeah, we'll see.
Listen, Tottenham fans, please let us know what you think about it. Conte in, Conte out, Poch. Are you a fan of this excuse, the way you play football? Let us know. Comment down below, guys. Box to Box Football. Like, share, and subscribe, and we will see you next time.